All right, hello everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. My name is Olaf. I'm a portfolio manager at the Innogy Innovation Hub, and I'm going to present what we do, how we innovate, how we disrupt industries, and I will start with a short video that you get a clear understanding. Right, so this was I think, an interesting movie to get a quick overview of what we're doing. But like we said, we are the Innogy Innovation Hub, and we invest in startups. We are disrupting industries by investing in startups and helping them to grow, not only in PropTech, but in a few other industries. But maybe very quick about Innogy, which is our mother company. It's a big energy company for who that does not know Innogy yet. So we serve around 23 million people of energy. But this is actually all about Innogy. We are the innovation hub. So we're with 60 people. We have now invested in over 90 startups in machine economy or in energy, but also in a few in PropTech. And we invested in over 161 million euros by now. Like we seen in the movie, we are not only based in London, we're in Berlin, in Tel Aviv, and in Silicon Valley. And from there, we search for the best innovations to invest in and to help industries to digitize. And you might ask, why is an energy company, or why are we doing this? And this is actually because we see exponential and disruption all around us in every industry, in energy, but also in the PropTech or in the real estate. And we see this being caused by a few, what we call mega global trends, which we see as decarbonization, decentralization, digitization, and democratization. So a lot of things are changing. The rules of business are rewritten. And we as an innovation hub, we said we're not afraid of this. We're going to foster it. We're going to look for innovation, to learn from it, and to drive this innovation. And we are not the only one doing this, luckily. We see other incubators, accelerators, and VCs. And luckily also in the PropTech space, we see more and more activities coming. And I think it's also much needed to help startups and help big corporates to innovate and to get to this change. How we work. So like we said, we are an energy company, so we are not only doing real estate, we have an energy focus, we have a focus on machine economy, so blockchain-related stuff in the decentralized economy, and of course how we are going to secure things when we are connecting everything. And we don't do this only for energy, but for other industries. So we believe in convergence by digitization. Everything is getting connected. You get smart cities where buildings, energy systems, and mobility are going to connect it and work together. And that's why we have those focus areas. But I also know that you're all here on a PropTech event, so we need to talk about our PropTech focus. This is just a selection of our portfolio, but I'm not going to talk about it. If you're interested, find us at our booth, and we can talk about the other portfolio companies we have as well. But smart and connected, which is the focus area on buildings, so where I'm working for, what we do. So we drive game-changing ideas to unlock the full potential of buildings in the digital space. And this is because we believe this industry is changing. And I can give a few examples of other industries that had this change. If you look to the communication sector, this industry has already changed tremendously. If you look to the automotive industry, we have seen manual labor transferring into completely automated labor. We also have the media sector, and maybe I can see some hands in asking who is using some kind of on-demand video service like Netflix or Amazon Prime. Maybe who is using this in the room? You see a lot of people are using this, and this has changed. Finance, I don't need to say anything about banking. I think the same is happening. And then we come to construction, building, real estate, where it's not so much change yet, and this industry, as any other industry, will change, and we are at the starting of this. So let's have a look at this industry. So what is happening there? I think a lot of you have seen these figures, but I just wanted to show them very quickly. Construction projects, 20% of all projects are over time, 80% are over budget. If you look to buildings, 40% of all energy is consumed by buildings, and 36% of all greenhouse gas emissions are also produced by buildings. So there's a lot of interesting stuff happening there. And then what is happening in industry in terms of working with startups. Only 40% is working with startups. And there's less than 1% spent on R&D, which is a really low, and this is something which is changing and has to change. This is a little bit of an old figure, but I just wanted to show it about the industry digitization index. And there you see you have the leaders and the laggards, and you see as utility companies we don't do well, but construction and real estate is still really on the bottom of digitization and doing stuff in the old way. Anyway, to go to the drivers of what is going to change or to drive this change is, first of all, affordability and availability. I think we all know, and especially the people living in London, know how expensive it is to live. We see a huge trend in urbanization. More and more people are going to live in cities, and how do you make sure that this is going to be affordable? And digitization or technology can help here. Customer centricity is the other one. We all have a mobile phone in our pocket, and we have everything what we want at our disposal at any time. And people are going to expect this in their buildings as well, in shopping malls, in offices, and especially the younger generation, so the millennials. In 2025, 75% of all employees will be millennials, and they will demand these kind of innovations. And last one, sustainability. We have, I would say, quite ambitious goals to achieve, although some politicians don't believe it anymore, but we really have some goals, and that's why we need to work on this together. So how we see the future, or what are we trying to achieve with our startups and with our innovations? I will show you where we started with the building. It used to be a pile of bricks where we were working, where we had shelter, where we slept. Over time, we started to add some technology, some sensors, or opening the sun, protection seals, etc. Now we got to the smart building, adding IoT sensors, getting a BIM model, getting a digital twin, and creating a virtual model to get more efficiencies. And what we believe is that we will get to an internet of digital twins, or a smart city where everything will be organized automatically by what we call so-called smart organisms. And this is actually what we're looking for solutions that actually support this vision. And there we see the seamless digital twin of a building as the first step to this game changer. Then one more thing about our investment focus. So we invest in high quality startups along the value chain. So it's construction tech, but also management, PropTech, facility management. This is our current portfolio. We have a few here today on our booth. We have a very colorful booth at number 2. So please visit us to learn more about our portfolio. But we also have 2 startups here on stage, which I would like to introduce you. So the first one is Eldar, who's going to present you a little bit about his company.
Thanks, Olaf. Hi, everyone. So Busking is an occupancy analytics platform for office spaces. And the problem that we're solving is the fact that the office space is a scarce resource, quite poorly utilized. So you see 47% of the office space is unoccupied on any given weekday. And that's a huge waste. In Germany alone, that's up to €1 billion wasted annually by the companies that are leasing the space, but then not using it fully. And the reason that is happening is the fact that executives can't act on this insight. They don't have the actionable data to improve their portfolio, improve their locations. And so they don't know how the space is used, really. Busking is a solution to this problem. We're providing real-time occupancy analytics, and we do this by using existing Wi-Fi infrastructure and machine learning algorithms. So that means we don't have the hardware installation costs, and that makes us more affordable, 4 times more affordable than typical solutions for this kind of problem, for space utilization tracking. Manual counting or typical sensor installation for same size of the building. And we already know space utilization is top of mind of the customers. So these are the numbers from JLL occupancy benchmarking study. As you see, clients in North America, 64% of them already using space utilization tracking. 72% of clients in EMEA are doing that. And they still, most of them are still using visual observations, so manual counting really, traditional way of doing things, but 20% are using Wi-Fi connection already, and 15% of the clients are using sensors too. So things are changing. And when we're talking to the customers, we trying to summarize our learnings as well. So we came up with this 6 stages model of adoption for this kind of technology. And basically it starts with denial. So a company is not seeing the value really in tracking this kind of metrics. Then it's about frustration. So a company is struggling with real estate expenses, trying to adapt to the transformation that's going on in organization or changes in the workforce. And then it's about bargaining. So using conventional methods like manual counting, typically done in-house, to try to track these numbers to understand what's going on. After that, there is testing. So typically, someone in the innovation role introduces a mix of technologies, typically in the headquarters location, flagship office of the company. And then there is the realization that, well, these kind of projects can be costly, they can be time-consuming, they can raise a lot of issues in terms of IT security, in terms of privacy of the employees as well. And then finally, there's the acceptance stage when the team behind the real estate management in the company understands that these metrics, they have to be tracked, they have to be tracked on a long-term basis, and to do that, you need to do it cost-effectively. So you need a mix of technologies, and typically Wi-Fi-based tracking is part of this conversation. So we know most of the market is past the denial stage already. And let me go through this. So our clients are based in EMEA, based in the US. We know these companies, the top occupiers that we work with, they're already either in testing stage or acceptance stage. by now. And so back to the future. Basically, we're building our occupancy analytics platform as a first step in fulfilling our vision. We want to build a self-managed, self-optimized workplace environment that is focused on increasing the productivity of the employees. And our sort of master plan is to start with the product for real estate executives and then gradually introduce end-user facing features, so employees-facing features. We are doing that by working with established partners, so third-party integrations, features that already are on the market and provide more value to the product. So I think that's about it. I want to pass the mic to Topi from Skenario Labs. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Hi, guys. Really happy to be here. I'm Topi from Skenario Labs from Finland. Something different. We are predicting the value and risks in properties just by using data analytics. We tell asset managers and property investors and financial institutes where to invest. But valuation and risk assessment, so basically predicting value and technical risk in properties just by using data and AI. Basically combining automatic valuation models that are being discussed here a lot with data-driven technical surveys. And how this is done today is basically manual building consultancy valuators, right? So if you have 100,000 or even 100,000 property units, it gets hard. You do lots of assumptions, extrapolations. You cannot do technical surveys on 100,000 property units, and then you extrapolate. It's very expensive, it's not accurate, and it really doesn't give you basically the parameters behind the value and the risks. Fortunately, the use of AVMs and analytics is increasing in the markets, but still there are lots of shortfalls in these models. We all know that AVMs are just aggregating transaction data or market evidence, but what if there is no transaction data or market evidence in the low liquid areas? They perform really poorly. One of the bigger issues is that the market and transaction data doesn't give you basically the cost of carry of that property. So what are the future costs of that property? If you can tell the value of the property without analytics, it's nice, but if you don't know the technical risks of the cost of carry of the property, you don't actually know whether it's a good investment or not. We build an AI to tell you this. So we combine multiple data sources from market evidence, from transaction data, demographics and socioeconomics, science, statistics, and to a huge data lake of actual reference property data. The analogy would be a doctor utilizing tens of millions of patient records to do diagnostics on a patient, based on the characteristics of the patient. So whether there's 10 or 100,000 property units, we can be as accurate to find out and extract the characteristics of the risk and values of the property. So what can we do with this technology? We can look first at the aerial characteristics, and this is all derived just from basic data, from building years, building type, building purposes. Look at the aerial characteristics of the property, validate the basic data, do accurate technical surveys on building part level to these properties, both for residential and commercial. We even know the building parts. Our AI combines different characteristics in the data sources, tells the building parts, combines the patient history to the diagnostics, and obviously gives valuations, market trends, yields. And from this granular approach, we can go to the portfolio level and build up these portfolios and monitor them in real time. The cool part is when we are in the building part level, that you can give your objectives and budgets, and we can automate investment plans for you. Whether you want it to be return on investment or make my portfolio as sustainable as possible, we can tell you exactly for that portfolio in a building part level what to do. We also have an API solution, but I don't have time for that. This is asked for me a lot, how right we are. We are used by banks. We audit it, so we actually have to look our perform monthly. At the moment, 7% is the margin of error. The human expert is 10 to 15%. But we can do 100,000 property units by pressing a button. There's the difference. How can we help our customers? So basically, asset management becomes pretty easy when you can have the prospecting, all this information in prospecting just by pressing a button. Obviously, leave time to the transactions where the monies are actually made. For financial institutes in mortgage lending, the risk assessment, everything, are automized and also underwriting for insurance companies. Few examples. If I could choose whether I would have 100 customers liking us or 10 loving us, I would choose the latter. We've been really fortunate of helping the biggest companies in the Nordics add leverage in this conservative industry with new technology. And now we're ready to do it in UK market. Actually, we've been working with housing providers in UK for a few years already. But now today we're launching our commercial real estate model, so you can click on a building and have all this insight, for example, in Greater London area. But yeah, we're at booth 2 together with innogy, and really happy to show our product and tell you guys how we can add value to your daily lives in this industry. Thank you. I'm Topi. Good to see you.